Well, thousands of Albertans have the luxury of going to their office in their pajamas, but working at home for yourself or someone else has its downside too. Since some laid-off Albertans are now starting their own businesses and calling the kitchen table their office, we thought we'd look at the pros and cons of working from home with our money columnist, Christine Wiley. Christine, thanks so much for coming in.
Yes, thanks for having me.
So this is an interesting topic, and I think a lot of people are kind of attracted to it. So what are some of the advantages?
So if you're an employer, first of all, you're going to have the ability to keep and retain your qualified employees, because this is a perk that a lot of employees are all over. You can also save some money on infrastructure. You don't have to have as much desk space and, the bricks and mortar type of thing. As an employee, not having to do that commute, being able to work maybe around your childcare schedule, this is a great advantage. And if you're self-employed, it's also, low cost. It's, just low tech. You just can start up, you got a computer, and away you go.
Of course, and the PJs as well.
Of course, yeah.
So, and what are some of the disadvantages?
So disadvantages from an employer perspective, maybe, getting the team together, checking on productivity. That productivity can also be a disadvantage as an employee because there are a lot of distractions. So if you have worked around that childcare and maybe the child is at home, child might want your attention. There's also being able to be motivated. You can become stale if you're just looking at your, these four walls of your house. Thinking about the washing and of the fridge becomes very tempting as well. So there's the downside of maybe, gaining some weight.
Okay, so how do we overcome some of those obstacles?
Overcoming them. So keeping in mind that networking, if you're a self-employed individual, getting out and meeting with like-minded individuals. Technology, there's some, video conferencing, working away from your regular office and going to business conferences or arranging with your employer if you're in that situation to, get into the office once or twice a week and meet with the rest of the group.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a huge difference.
It does.
So what about tax advantages?
Tax advantages, as an employee, there certainly are some deductions if you're meeting with your clients or the other employees at your office. A form can be filled out called a T2200, but as a self-employed individual, you can claim amounts for your mortgage interest, your property taxes, utilities, internet. It goes quite in depth, and of course there are some limitations. It can't just be your kitchen table in that case. You'd have to measure the square footage of your home and then prorate it on that basis.
Okay, that's interesting. And what are some of the trends that you're seeing?
So if you're also an individual that might be wanting to have a remote office and lower cost and only need it from time to time, maybe for a board meeting or you're traveling to different places, there are some online options, and you can get a PIN code through your cell phone, like on an app, and access some of these places for only half an hour or up to a week at a time. And there's a couple of websites. One of them is actually possibly opening up here in Calgary, and it's called This Space Works. So some new things kind of coming on board.
That sounds neat. Thanks, Christine.
Yeah, thanks, Brian.